Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. It's Friday again, and it's time today to share some really great work that's been going on at home and in school. Some really great learning, some really great things that people have made and written and done this week. And the first thing I need to share with you is something really special that somebody has done at home. And the somebody is Ralph in year 3. And Ralph, do you remember back in autumn when we were talking about acorns? We were talking about acorns and horse chestnuts and various things and all the signs of autumn. And I was telling you a special fact about acorns. Do you remember the name of the bird that really likes to eat acorns? Lives near me in the woods? A jay. Well, Ralph did something very special. Ralph planted his acorn and he waited for it to grow. And I need to show you what he's made. Ralph has grown. Look at that. You remember what it's called? It's an oak tree. Ralph planted his acorn and he has grown an oak tree and he's given it to school. So at the moment, because it's still quite small, it's sitting on my windowsill. Me and Miss Horsefall are taking great care of it. And we've looked it up and we think it needs to be a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger before we can plant it out into the school garden. I think it's the nicest thing I've ever had in my office. I really do, to have a little oak tree, which will grow into a great oak tree on my windowsill. So that's an amazing thing that you've done, Ralph. I'm so pleased. And it's shown everybody that acorns grow into oak trees. And you're all like little acorns, aren't you? I've told you this before. You're all my little acorns. And I think there's a saying, isn't there, that from little acorns, mighty oaks grow. So that's you. Just like the oak tree, growing. And you might be little at the moment, but before too long, you'll be big and strong and very clever because you're doing so well with your learning in school. Thank you, Ralph. That's amazing. Truly amazing. Well done, you. Okay, from oak trees, let's go to some top tips from year 4 today around tooth health. How to keep our lovely teeth fit and healthy and strong, so we keep them and we don't have to have those nasty fillings and various things. And the person that's going to help us with that today is Oliver in year 4 from in school. Oliver's in school at the moment, and Oliver has written 5 top tips about how to keep your teeth healthy. So the first one is, number 1, brush twice a day. That's really important, isn't it? To try to get into the habit of brushing your teeth twice a day. Number 2, avoid too much sugar. Now, we all like a treat, don't we? Including me every now and again. But try to avoid too many sugary snacks. That's what Oliver is telling us. Number 3, brush for 2 minutes. Goodness me, sometimes I just give a quick brush before I get into bed, but we should be brushing properly for 2 minutes if we're going to do a really good job. So maybe try setting a timer, have a go with that. And the last one is, you don't need too much toothpaste. Oliver has told us just use a pea-sized amount. So that's been Oliver's learning about looking after teeth in his science lesson this week. Well done. And at home, because they're looking at the teeth and the digestive system, there's been some really good work and learning that's gone on in science online on Google Classrooms all around the digestive system this week. And this is Nicholas's from home. And Nicholas has created a labelled diagram of all the digestive system that's inside us and what each part does. And he was set a special task to find out what the large intestine does, which is just here. Yeah, just here. And Nicholas found out that it is important because it absorbs water from the remaining food matter and transmits the useless waste material from the body. So I'm very glad for my large intestine today. Thank you, Nicholas, for helping us to learn that. Okay, from science and digestion, we are going to go back in time. Again, we're in science. It's a bit of a sciencey week this week. And I went into year 3 yesterday, and they'd had such a lovely science lesson. They were really excited about it. They'd been learning about fossils. I've brought you one in from home. Here's one. Here's a fossil. The name of this fossil is an ammonite. And this was formed from a once living creature kind of a snail-like creature, but it lived in the sea. So its tentacles and its kind of body parts came out of here, and it would bob around in the sea, propelling itself. And this is prehistoric. So this creature would have been around at the same time as dinosaurs. Isn't that amazing? That we can still find evidence of these ancient things. And Hudson had a really, really good lesson in year 3. And he'd got all of these right, and he's created a piece of work to tell us how fossils are formed. So here we go. If you're wondering how it ends up like this, Hudson is going to tell us. Here we go. First thing that happens is that an animal or creature dies and ends up in the sea, and it gets covered by a layer of rock. So that's what would have happened to our ammonite, all those lots and lots of years ago. And then number 2, over time, more layers of rock cover it, and by this time, the only thing to remain of the animal would be its bones or its shell-type structure. Number 3, over thousands of years, the fossil might become a cast fossil with sediment entering the mould. In the case of a replacement fossil, the original bone matter changes to mineral matter, but it doesn't affect the shape of the bones. Goodness me, that's very technical, Hudson. Over a long period of time, the sea will recede, which means it will go back. And then as erosion and weathering takes place, eventually the fossil might become exposed, okay, often within a piece of stone. So this one was found by me and my family. It's still got the sand and the stone in it, down on a beach in Lyme Regis, which is down on the south coast. So I always had questions about that, Hudson, but now you've helped me to understand, so thank you very much for that. Okay, from fossils and science, where shall we travel next? I know. Et maintenant, mes enfants, un petit peu de français. That means, and now it's time for a little bit of French, courtesy of year 6. And both at home and at school, children have been learning vocabulary to do with places and weather and temperature. So I was having a look, Sarah, at your work that you've done at home, and you've been going all through the weather conditions, having a look at your work. So I would say today, il pleut. At the moment, it's a little bit of rain. So, il pleut aujourd'hui. Today, it is raining. So, well done, Sarah. I love your presentation as well. Keeping it really neat whilst you're working at home. That's fantastic. And then in school, which I think is the next thing that you're going on to at home, the children have had to pretend that they come from a different country and pretend to write a postcard to someone else telling them what it's like in their country in French. That's quite difficult, isn't it? Quite a challenge. And Eva has done a brilliant job. And I know she really understood what she's written because she read this out to me in a beautiful French accent yesterday afternoon. I'll read it to you. See if you've got some clues about what it might be saying. Bonjour, Elliot. Je suis Australie. Il fait chaud et très de soleil. Il y a des crocodiles et des kangaroos. Il n'y a pas de zèbres et de lions. Il y a beaucoup de plages et des déserts. C'est intéressant et fantastique. Salut, Eva. Wow, isn't that good? Not only learning to speak French, but learning to write and spell in French with all those tricky accents as well. If you weren't sure, Eva's postcard said this. Hello, Elliot. I am Australian. It's very hot here with lots of sun. There are crocodiles here and kangaroos. There are no zebras or lions. There are lots of beaches and deserts. It's interesting here and fantastic. C'est intéressant et fantastique. Salut, Eva. Well, salut, Eva, from me as well. A brilliant piece of work and a beautiful French accent. Well done, you. Great work. And then the last thing that I want to share with you is some work on presentation. Now, this week, both at home and in school, we've started to do some new handwriting work. And I hope you've all tried really, really hard with that because we're trying to get our presentation and our handwriting really, really top notch. The very best quality that we can. And Mrs. Scrimshaw emailed me with some work from her Year 5 class that they've done at home on the Highwayman narrative poem, which is a really long poem which the children have been learning off by heart. I know this because I went into Mr. Naylor's class in school, and the children know it. They know it all the way through off by heart, which is amazing. It's a great story, quite a dark story. So I won't go into details for the younger classes just at the moment, but I did want to share how thrilled Mrs. Scrimshaw was with the quality of presentation. The children had to write a newspaper report about the Highwayman from the end of the story. And I've got Lissy's and Isla's here, and I just want to show you these children are working at home on their own, probably with a little bit of help, and they've really tried extra hard with the presentation and their handwriting. Have a look at Lissy's, isn't that beautiful? That's in the exercise book that we've given you to working at home. And she's put just as much effort into that and her handwriting as she would have done if she was in school. So well done, Lissy. What you've written is really great as well. I've read that through. It's a really good newspaper report. And Isla, your newspaper report really made me smile. It was this little part here where you've put an artist's impression of the Highwayman. That made me chuckle this morning. But Isla, your presentation, your handwriting is beautiful. All of your tall letters are tall. Your ascenders and your descenders are absolutely fantastic. And I'm so proud of you for working so hard at home. So well done you two, to Lissy and Isla. So there we have it. Another week of brilliant learning at Northowram Primary School. So I wish you all a very happy weekend. Be cosy. Try to do some of the things that you enjoy. No schoolwork, a little bit of reading perhaps, but otherwise enjoy your families. Have some time together and really enjoy your Saturday and Sunday. And I will see you back here first thing on Monday morning. So happy weekend, everybody. Bye for now.